at least no one knew it was Fluffy's. All right, I probably need to rewrite this bit. It's a little too mean.
My heartbeat is racing a little bit. Okay, I'm actually dreading this. I bombed hard this week. Like, I'm talking biggest fail out of all 16 weeks of comedy. So today, I'm changing things up. I'm gonna react to my own set, show you what happened, and why it all went wrong. All right, you ready? Let's do this.
The next comedian is very funny, give the word for Josh Kydell.
Hey guys, so I'm a millennial, which means I have anxiety, right? But I'm anxious all the time, kind of like a chihuahua. You know, I'm always wide-eyed and shaking, and whenever the doorbell rings, I pee a little.
So, the start actually isn't so bad. This is actually a joke I've told before. It usually gets a laugh, and things are going fine. Just wait.
Just a little. But my anxiety actually goes all the way back to childhood. I had this weird disorder called trichotillomania, where you compulsively rip out your hair. And at first, my parents just got me a doll, but eventually it wasn't enough. So I needed another outlet.
One thing you'll notice I'm doing here is I'm kind of holding up my hand like this, and I've caught myself doing this lately. I think it's kind of like an approval-seeking body language, so I'm trying to get rid of that because I think it's a little bit like trying to be engaging, but it does come out when I'm anxious. So when you see that, it's because I'm feeling uncomfortable.
That poor house cat. That poor, you guys, I'd pluck that thing bare like a featherless chicken. All right?
As you can already see, when I say that poor house cat, I'm already getting, oh. And that's not automatically a bad sign, but what just happened there? I just put the audience against me.
All right? I really put the ow in meow. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm the villain in this story, which I thought would go okay, but it's gotta be funny. It can't just be, when you tell a joke where you're the villain, it can be tough to land, because unless you're, you know, already an established comedian who is well known for telling dark jokes or who is the villain, the audience isn't exactly rooting for you, especially when it comes to animal abuse. Whoops. And this is my problem, is I'm a sick freak. I love dark jokes. And so sometimes I forget that not everyone else has a sick sense of humor. And I should have known in preparing for this set that the audience was not gonna be with me from this standpoint. Let's keep going.
I really put the ow in meow. You know what I'm saying? You guys like me yet? Do you?
Okay, so I thought the I really put the ow in meow was gonna do better. I just like that line. I think it's funny. No one else did, but I thought it was funny. And so at this point, I wasn't getting a laughter. I was expecting a little bit lower laughter. Again, I should have known this. I don't know why. I think this is what happens when maybe you're doing well overall in your open mics, and then you kind of think you can get away with a little bit more the next time. So right now, not terrible. So it's not terrible. I just decided, because they weren't really laughing at my lines, that I was gonna make a self-aware joke and say, hey, do you guys like me yet? Do you guys like me? So that actually was, I think, the best laugh of this whole set, was just acknowledging I'm a villain already, and no one's really laughing.
My dad came home, saw fur all over the couch, and was like, I didn't even know she shed. She doesn't. We had to rename her from Fluffy, which, the way she looked after her, didn't leave us with great options. It was either pinky or fleshy. So, like I said, do you like me?
Okay, so actually, I'm getting a couple giggles here, but this is a packed room. So this is bombing, okay? Don't forget, this is bombing for sure. all the comedians that went before me, most of the comedians that went before me did really well. The mic's like 20 comedians in. I'm probably the first comedian to do this poorly. So I'm getting a little bit of residual laughter because the energy in the room is good. But notice I'm also getting aww. I'm getting people actively kind of upset and expressing it, which I'll take over silence, but still not great. Let's keep going.
Guys, relax. I was 25 years old, okay? I was 5, and yeah, it was pretty brutal for the cat. But don't worry, if you feel bad.
Look at that hand's going right now. See what this means? This means it's not going well, guys. Like me. It's not going well, but you like me because I'm holding my hand up, right?
Pinky got her revenge, okay? I had to wear an eye patch for a whole month. And that's how long it took to get the glass eye. And remember, fur grows back. Depth perception doesn't. Right?
So just complete bomb here. That's how long it took to get the glass eye. Cue the crickets. You know, I kind of knew going in that this joke wouldn't work very well. Because here's the thing, like, I don't have a glass eye, right? And unless the audience can see that on you, the joke's not gonna work if you're making a physical joke like that. So that honestly doesn't surprise me, but it still hurt to feel that just complete silence.
Well, what am I gonna do? Yeah, it's a very quick light.
And you're probably still hearing this and being like, this isn't that bad, you're getting some laughter, and I am, but it's because I'm bombing, right? It's because I'm acknowledging, oh, I'm getting the light already. Yeah, that was a quick one. That is why the audience is laughing, not because of my material. And so you also might notice that I kind of froze there before I said that a little bit. I think I was caught up in my brain and, well, actually, honestly, it doesn't look that bad now that I'm watching it back, because I have an okay demeanor. My stage presence doesn't look too anxious, even though I literally admitted at the beginning that I am anxious. Now here I'm starting to piss myself, you know, internally.
I pee a little.
I remember in that moment kind of freezing, and those couple seconds of silence was just like, yeah, this isn't going well. And now's where my brain's starting to scramble, and you're gonna see me attempt to continue the bit, but it's gonna continue to go downhill.
I eventually became the outlet, okay? I created a bald spot in the middle of my Justin Bieber mop, and my mom showed me this in the mirror. And I was terrified because I couldn't go to school the next day. So the problem was, I went to a private Christian school, and we couldn't wear hats, because as we all know, if you do, you're going to hell. Sorry, sir. I'm really sorry. So what we did was come up with a creative solution. And the good news is that we came up with an emergency hair transplant. The bad news is everyone noticed the weird black hair dye.
So I've told this story before, and it's gone a lot better. Because I didn't go after the cat. Like, I think because I started the joke out being a villain and just giving you this image that I'm just making this cat mine. You know, I'm just ripping it to shreds. I think that put a lot of the audience against me. You know, so I got like a little chuckle there at my hat joke, but I am going a lot faster here than I intended. I only have a minute left, because when they give you the light, you get 1 minute. And I'm starting to kind of speed, and at this point I'm just doing it to get it over with, not to try to be in the moment and laugh with the audience. So this is a good example of, like, I still think I need to punch up the jokes, but if you don't start off well, even if you have okay to great material afterwards that's worked before, the audience isn't with you anymore. And that's what's happened here.
On the back of my head. At least no one knew it was Fluffy's. Alright, I probably need to rewrite this bit. It's a little too mean. Keep it going for your host, everyone.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. That was supposed to be like the big end of the set punchline, that I got a cat hair transplant, right? I had this bald spot, and it was Fluffy's. It's a callback. I'm bringing it back to the material that I set up, which is that I'm ripping hair out of this poor cat, and the silence was palpable. I mean, if you guys watch this moment, you can see, it was quiet, and then there was a couple chuckles after I sat there with my thumbs up, like really happy at this. But again, the damage has been done. The audience was not feeling it. I got a few chuckles, but I hope you guys didn't feel that one like I did. That was cringe. But here's a cringe warning for you guys.
Why am I still doing this? I think this is rough.
Yeah, this is what you gotta do. If you wanna get good at something, you've got to take the failures in stride. I didn't record this, but after the set was up, host lightly roasted me, and then the comedian that came up after me was like,
I'm scared.
So, yeah, that was rough. My heartbeat is racing a little bit. I can breathe a little bit now. We got it over with. I kid you not, I was dreading watching this for weeks. So, what did I learn here? I think that I went against my better judgment, and I went into a bit that was almost brand new, with jokes that made me the villain, which you can do if they are funny. And these jokes just aren't funny. But I think my big mistake was being the villain and making the audience feel bad for the cat and not having great jokes to back it up. So I think what I learned in this set is that I need to go, if you're going to go after an animal, go a little bit lighter. Maybe don't paint an image that you're ripping shreds out of a poor little creature. Also, I just need better jokes. Overall, I don't feel like they worked because they weren't great surprises, or they just didn't make sense. Like the glass eye joke, I don't have a glass eye. Like, maybe it would have worked if I did, but what am I doing? Really. I think this was an example of, if you get confident because you do well, remember, every new bit, you're starting from scratch. And there's so many things to consider with a stand-up bit, but that was my big one here. I could go into all the different reasons that it didn't go well, but I think that was the big one. All right, we made it. Give yourselves a pat on the back if you made it this far. Well, I hope you guys like this. Well, let me say this. What I learned from this set is that I don't get overconfident. Still, the jokes have to be good, and you have to set yourself up for the audience to like you, because that's most of the battle. If you can be likable, then you've won most of the battle. I don't think those jokes made me very likable. So that was my big mistake this week. And also, here's some insider information for you guys. I kid you not, I actually feel like I tanked this mic. Like, again, most of the comedians did good before me, and then afterwards, pretty much everyone bombed. Like, I'm almost certain that I single-handedly brought the energy down in the room to where the audience member was like, oh, comedians can be unfunny? And then they projected that onto the rest of the comics in the night. Because no one really did well after it. I mean, granted, we were reaching the end of the night. One of the other comics sat with me afterwards and he was like, hey, I feel like the energy was going that way anyway. But to be honest, I really think I tanked this mic. Awesome. Heart rate's still going fast. That was brutal. That was brutal. But you know what? That's okay. We're living the dream. And this is part of the process, is learning. So, hey, this was week 16 in my journey to become a stand-up comedian just 1 year. If you're new here, I'm documenting my journey in starting stand-up. I love stand-up. It is my dream, and I'm gonna pursue it until I become a comedian. So if you're chasing a dream, you like comedy, or you just want to see me bomb, you sick freak, go ahead and hit those like and subscribe buttons. Toodles!